I'm sure by now we have all heard about how much everyone loves Europe, especially the Western European countries. But what about Poland? I am going to be talking to you guys today all about the reasons why I love Poland. We're going to be talking all about healthcare, the quality of life, the value you get for your money, the people, the culture, the food, all of that. So if you guys are interested in learning more about the reasons why I love Poland and why you guys should consider coming to visit and falling in love with this beautiful country, please go ahead and keep on watching. But before we dive into some of these reasons of why I love Poland, be sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I am so close to 2,000 subscribers and I would love to have you guys stick around to learn more about my life in Poland and what I think about living abroad and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So just a brief background about me. My name is Sarah and I have lived in Poland for over 4 years at this point. I moved here in 2018. I am not a Polish person. I do not have any Polish history in my genealogy, but we decided to get out of America and we wanted to move somewhere different, and we decided on Poland. I don't know exactly why, it's just what happened. And so I had no expectations when I moved to Poland. I had never really heard of anyone living here. I didn't know much about it. I traveled so much before moving to Poland, Western Europe, pretty much all of that area, but I had never gone any further east than Prague. And so I was super excited, but also a little bit nervous. And I will say I am very pleasantly surprised to say that I personally really do love Poland. Again, it's a place I had never been to, had never been on my radar. But after living here for so long, I can honestly say that I think Poland is one of the best countries in the EU, and I really think that you should come and visit as well. So the first reason why I love Poland is the quality of life that I have experienced here. Living in America, the quality of life, in my opinion, I didn't feel like it was that great. It was really expensive to live in America. What I got for my money didn't get me very far. And the quality of everything, it didn't feel top-notch. So for example, when we lived in the States, I used to live in Nevada, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, basically all of the West Coast. And we would spend a lot of our paycheck just on basic living expenses, and we didn't have a lot left over at the end of the month. We weren't living a really extravagant lifestyle. We were living below our means, but we didn't have much left over to save or put away for retirement or buy extraneous things that we wanted to. So it was fine, but we were always working and striving for something, and it didn't matter how much you made, it just always felt like you weren't getting like a great quality of life, plus there really wasn't very much vacation and all of that. So moving to Europe, fast forward a few years. Yes, I know Poland is it is in the EU, but it is on a different currency. And so you do have that really good conversion rate from US dollars to Polish zloty, but just because I have that exchange rate and it's really good for me, it doesn't diminish the fact that the quality of living here in Poland is really good. I know people in my own circle of friends who are making the Polish zloty, and they are living a very comfortable life, even on a Polish zloty average salary. They can afford their rent, they can afford really high quality food, they can afford to go out with their friends, they can have a cell phone, they have, sometimes they'll have a car, pay for public transport, whatever, and, still have enough money left over at the end of the month, depending on the job you have. But their quality of life here is so much better. They get 6 months or 6 weeks of vacation, depending on the job, maybe 4 weeks of vacation every single year, and that is so huge. I would tell people when I moved here that I only had 2 weeks of vacation in America, and they were just floored. They could not believe my vacation was so small compared to what it is here. It's at least double that. So that's really amazing, and I just really feel that here in Europe, people just value having a good quality of life where you are, you're working hard, but you can also play hard. Whereas in the States, you're working, and then you barely get time off. And then when the time off you do get, you may not have enough money to go travel or do what you want with it. So yeah, I'm just always amazed here about the quality of life that I can get. And yes, granted, I do live in a more expensive apartment, and I pay more top dollar. but even compared to like what I'm paying here versus what I paid in America, it is light years difference, and the quality of what I get for my money is just incredible. This leads me into another reason of why I love Poland. Poland is big on public transit. So I live in Krakow, and there's public transport everywhere. You have trams, you have buses, you have the Uber system, people bike everywhere, there are scooters. You know, you almost really don't need a car if you live here. Granted, people do have cars here, but you know, I'm looking at my daily life and all my other friends as well. None of my friends have cars because you can all get everywhere you need in the city with public transport. And I just think that's amazing. It's clean, it's affordable, it goes everywhere you need it to, and I love that so much because you know, it's just really convenient. You know, it's great at night, great during the day, whatever the case is, but you know, it just services so many people all the time, and everything is new and it works so well and it's always on time. And you know, I just absolutely love that about the public transport, and I really wish America had public transport the way that Poland does. Another reason why I love Poland is that it is so clean and so safe. So I can remember so many times, you know, going out with my girlfriends, I would be coming home late at night, like 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever, and I would just be walking home or taking the tram or whatever by myself. I felt completely safe. There were no issues. I never once felt like I had to look over my shoulder or be a little bit wary. No, it was just all so safe and all so just really great. In America, there is not a single country or state or city even that I would say feels comparable to how safe it feels here in Krakow specifically. And also, Poland is very clean. I mean, Krakow really. I was just in Barcelona last month, and wow, that city was dirty, like trash everywhere. You know, just a lot of junk on the streets, and the smell was atrocious. We're here in Poland and in Krakow, the streets are so clean. We have, you know, really good cleaning systems set up throughout the city, and you don't have any of those issues that I experienced in places like Barcelona or Lisbon or Frankfurt, Munich, any of the other big cities in Western Europe. So if you do come to Poland, expect clean streets and safe environments. I know Uber also rolled out a thing, or was it Bolt? I can't remember. One of those two car companies rolled out something where you could select a woman driver as well. So if you don't feel safe with a driver, you could just always select a woman driver, which I think is a really cool feature. I don't know if that's happening throughout all of Europe or wherever, but at least in Poland, I've noticed that. But in my opinion, I've just never had an experience where I felt unsafe or nervous driving, walking, public transport, anything like that. Another reason I love Poland is how great the food is. I'm not just talking about the cuisine. Of course, the cuisine is really good, you know, with the kotle schabowe and the ziemniakis and, you know, all of that, like Polish food. But the food that you buy at the grocery store is very fresh, and I have to go to the store a few times a week because otherwise it spoils in my fridge. If there's no preservatives, no chemicals, things like that. If you buy like the fresh stuff, of course, you know, the processed foods are going to have a little bit more of that, but the fresh foods and vegetables, you know, you're really not going to get any of those chemicals that the US is using, and so things go bad a lot more quickly in my fridge. So I have to go more often to the store, which sounds annoying, but it's actually not, because it makes me feel better knowing that my food is a lot more fresh and free of all those nasty chemicals that the US uses. Another reason why I love Poland is the healthcare system, and some of you might come for me on this because you might say that the Polish healthcare system isn't so great. You found better things in Ukraine or Western Europe or whatever. And I can understand it, and I appreciate where you're coming from. But for me, coming from America, the healthcare system here is light years better than anything I had in America. It may surprise you if you are not from America, but I'm gonna have a video linked up here so you guys can go watch a little bit more of why I think the healthcare system here is far superior to America. And I'm gonna list my reasons over there as well. So if you're interested, go take a look at that video after you watch this one. But the healthcare system here is just so much better than anything I ever experienced by living in the States. You know, I had to go to a whole bunch of asthma appointments in America. That was a nightmare and a half. And so I just really kept everything to a bare minimum. But ever since moving to Poland, You know, it's like, oh, if I want to go see a dermatologist, I can go see a dermatologist and I can get in 2 days. You know, I can get all this specialty treatment. You know, I can have online consultations. I can have prescriptions created just for me that are so inexpensive. Like I went, actually, funny story, to the dermatologist last week, and she gave me a specialized skincare prescription, and she's like, just go to the pharmacy, fill this out, and you know, they'll custom make it for you. And the pharmacy was like, are you sure you want us to custom make this? It's gonna be $2. You know, it's a little bit pricey for us to custom make this for me. And I'm like, yeah, sign me up. Let's ring it up here, because it just was so affordable and it was so custom made to me. So I really did appreciate that. You know, my husband had a few MRIs a few years ago, and that was so easy to just get in, get done. You know, it took maybe 2 or 3 days to get all of those scans done and looked at and seen with a doctor. So again, I know Poland may not have the best healthcare system in the entire world, but coming from America to Poland, incredible. So if your last reason why I love Poland is everything is so easily accessible. And I know not everyone is fortunate enough to live within like bigger cities, but even out like in the smaller suburbs or you know, things like that, you have everything you actually need. So you have a grocery store, little convenience stores like a Żabka, you would have like Carrefour Expresses, something like that, super easy. You would just get all your food that you need in one spot. You know, maybe a little gym, a park, walking areas, everything like that. You have everything kind of in your own vicinity. So like I said, whether you're in a small city or a big city, you have everything you need right there. If you live a little bit farther outside of the city, you can easily, you know, figure out a way to get into the city and get what you need and then head back out. But at least where I live in Krakow, I live maybe 2 kilometers away from the city center, and I can just walk to everything I could possibly need. I have a gym 5 minutes away, my grocery store is a few minutes down the road. I have a tram literally right down the street. Downtown again is like less than 2 kilometers away, which has everything I could possibly need. The tram I have will take me anywhere I want in the city. The mall is right by me, so it's so convenient and so easy, and I love that. And we also walk everywhere, and it's because everything is so close. When I went back to America, I drove everywhere just to even get to a store or a gym or whatever, and I just remember being like, oh my gosh, why am I driving for 45 minutes one way to go to these different places? Because, you know, it's so spread out in the States. And actually the video about my experience going back to America, so if you want to check that out, again, it'll be listed up here. But yeah, it was just crazy to see how far away everything was. We're here in Poland, and Krakow at least. It's all so close in that vicinity, and it's really easy to get to, and you just walk everywhere. But that's it. Those are the main reasons why I love Poland. Again, there are so many more reasons, but this is just kind of a brief overview. So if you guys have ever been to Poland or you currently live in Poland, let me know down in the comments below of what you love about Poland and what you really appreciate about this beautiful country. So if you guys are ever planning on visiting, I would highly recommend. I think it's such a cool country and there's a lot to see and do. So if you're interested in learning more about Poland, again, I have a playlist linked up here so you can go check that out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up so I know you like this kind of content, and I will see you guys in my next video.